Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing today? I do apologize. I was a couple of minutes late. I do apologize for that. But it has been a little hectic last week and a half. I've been doing a million things, and things just got a little carried away today. So I do apologize if y'all was waiting for a very long time. How you doing, Miss Alicia? Appreciate you being here. I hope you weren't waiting too long. Just turn out. Alright, so I just give just a couple of minutes to let other people get in case they're late just like I am, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Again, I apologize if you guys were waiting for too long. And y'all heard that noise in the background. I had to go away in a second. I did tell y'all that I was downgraded to the laundry room. Like my office is the laundry room / office, and somebody, I don't know who, started to unload just a couple of minutes ago, but it's about to finish up. So luckily the washer ain't too loud, but I know y'all probably hear that. I'm like, what the heck is that in the background? So just give me a second to get myself in order, collect my thoughts real quick, and we will go ahead and jump into this. I'm with you, Miss Alicia. I'm very tired as well. So I'm hoping, I know how it is taking care of that boy of yours. You know, a good kid, but I know come with his challenges. But so I'm always praying for you and little Leo over there. All right, let me get this stuff wound up. We will get started. Find my spot. There we go. See there? Quiet already. I would have stopped it if it was still more into the cycle, but I saw it was just about to be done, so figured I'd let them finish it up. Right. Okay, so again, I do apologize, y'all, for being a few minutes late. Just got a couple of things going on. I'm having to do double duty, so I've been pretty busy here last week or so. Thank God that my baby girl been helping me out. She's been helping me out with taking care of the house and everything. So it kind of worked out when she's able to help us out, help me out. So that's been a blessing. But did want to start to give you guys with an update. So my wife, she's still kind of basically in the same state as far as her health wise. I didn't want to give out too many details, but she said she didn't mind. So basically, I don't want to say she didn't have a stroke, but she did. I'm going to explain what I mean. So what she had was the doctor diagnosed it as complex migraine. It was just not the technical term for it, but basically it's this migraine that's so intense that it basically it kind of mirrors a stroke. So it's like she had a stroke. So all the things that you would have to deal with from having a stroke is what she's dealing with right now. So she can't use the left side. Her left side is really weak. She can't talk. Her speech is really slurred. She had to use a walker, which is, is definitely got her feeling down about that. Really can't do anything but kind of laying around the house all day, kind of thing. I've been joking with her, like, man, you know what? This might be time to go and put you on down like old Yeller. You know what I'm saying? It's time. It's been a good run, and might be time that you go on the greener pastures, but man, I'd be miserable without her. And this honestly, this ministry will suffer without her, because it's been rough trying to get everything done without her support. So man, y'all keep us in your keep us in your prayers, because like I said, it's basically, and like I said, the way the doctor explained it, it's like a stroke, but it's not caused by the same thing that will cause a stroke. Because a stroke is a lack of flow to the blood to the brain. So it's not that. So she won't have the brain damage that comes with a stroke, or permanent damage that comes with a stroke. But with what it is, it, like I said, mimic all the symptoms. She still have like I said, she can't use her left side, things of that nature. So she's been out of work for like a week and a half, and been out of work, her physical work and housework. So I've been having to kind of take on all of it and do the ministry and be this awesome guy that I am. So it's been a lot of work. I've been tired. So I'm with you, Mr. Alicia. I've been tired. But God's been getting me through. I'm not complaining at all. The show must go on. That's why I'm here with y'all tonight. had to throw a lesson together kind of like at the last minute because I had to take a nap today because I had to get up so early this morning. So I don't think it's permanent. Actually, I don't think it's permanent, but it's going to take some work for her to get back. Like I said, just like a stroke, you know how stroke she's going to have to have physical therapy and things like that. And it really just depends on how her body responds to the therapy. So I can't say it's permanent, but I can't say it's not, kind of thing. So really, this is our first time dealing with it. So we're just kind of having to see how things are going to work out and just pray that it's not permanent and pray that she can get healed fast so she can get back to it before, so I had to put myself back on the market. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just joking. I got to make light of it or keep me from crying, but no, I feel for my baby. Been praying hard for her. I know y'all been praying too, and she's feeling a little bit better already. She's starting to get some of the strength back in the left side. With the talking, at first it was like when she tried to talk, it was completely like slurred. But now she had moments of clarity where she talked like earlier. She was getting on me about something. She was talking clearer, and then she went back to talk slurred. I said, "Oh, so you can talk clearer when you want to get on me about something." But you know what I'm saying? If I want to have a regular conversation, you all slurring your speech kind of thing. So, of course, y'all know I mess with my wife. We joke back and forth with each other, but I'll be miserable without her, and this ministry would suffer. So, y'all keep us in the prayers. That's where we're at. Don't know how long it's going to take for her to get back to being 100%. Like I said, I'm praying that it'll be soon, but we really don't know. It's really just how, based on her strength and how her body is going to respond to the therapy and the medicines and all that stuff. So definitely keep us in your prayers because, like I said, it's basically like she had a stroke, but like I said, without the brain damage that comes with a stroke. So that's what we had on that. So that being said, I know that a lot of y'all was reaching out to me, and I appreciate that. I know a lot of y'all was praying. Y'all been concerned with her. She said thank you, of course, for the concerns and everything, and I really appreciate that, y'all. Because like I said, she helps this thing, keeps the wheel on this thing. You know what I'm saying? So keep praying for us, but until then, until she get back here, whatever, I'm gonna do my best to keep the show going, and do my best to keep this show going, so to speak, and to continue to bring out these messages. And I want to bring out another tonight. So I appreciate y'all for being here. Of course, I'm Brother John Stewart on behalf of the Lost Sheep Ministry, sponsored by the River Lake Baptist Church, here to bring out another exciting lesson tonight, another good one tonight. Man, these points, I can't lie, man. I've been wanting to do 2 and 3. But no, as I'm getting them to them and I'm developing them and I'm thinking them out and write down all my ideas, man, it's like the spirit to get on me, and it just kind of take off. And next thing you know, I got enough for a whole sermon for just one point, and I don't want to, and I've told y'all before, and I'm actually going to kind of bring it up tonight. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to just squeeze it in there and hurry up and get it done. Like when I get on something, when Spirit put me on something, I like to listen to the Spirit and just know everything that needs to be said about that particular subject I said. And that's why I end up doing, 3 verses and having a whole hour and a half sermon on it. We on part, this is lesson number 11 for this lesson, and it's just a few verses. But again, it ain't me. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not trying to be some long-winded dude. It's just when the Spirit give me when I get to going, like son, I'm telling y'all, I'll be putting it together, and I be like, man, how am I going to approach this? And I just the first few minutes, I'm just sitting there thinking like, I don't know how to start. And it's like, as soon as I get that first line, or I start thinking about a couple of examples to go with it, then it just takes off. And then it just, what I'm saying, next thing you know, I got five pages of notes, and I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be a sermon right there. If I notice, if I get 5 pages more, that's a whole sermon. So I just stopped there. And I already got like 5 or 6 pages on this lesson tonight. So we're only going to do 1 point tonight. But it's a really good one. Matter of fact, I would go out on a limb to say that 9 times out of 10, most likely tonight, this is going to be one of those that's going to step on some toes tonight. It's going to be some, I'm definitely going to probably say some things that are going to step on some people's toes, because the thing that we're going to do tonight, the curse that we're going to be dealing with tonight, is something that we've all experienced, we've all done, we've all dealt with, and we deal with on a regular basis. So I wouldn't be surprised. So make sure if y'all watching this video tonight or whenever you watch it, make sure you got your steel-toed boots on, because I'm probably going to step on some toes tonight. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do the quick review. We did 1 point last week. Again, was a really good point. I did that one from outside the hospital, so we were still kind of in the early stages of kind of finding out what's going on. Like I said, I know it's rough what she's going through, but it's still a blessing that it's not a stroke, because there's more permanent, it has more severe consequences with the stroke. So it's not a stroke, so she can bounce back from it, but it's still, she's not in a good position. So just keep her in prayer. So last week was point number 15 in the curses for disobedience. No, the course of the lesson overall is called Obedience and Blessings, or Disobedience and Curses. And last week was part number 10. I went over point number 15. And point number 15 was rejection from God and a loss of grace is one of the curses of disobedience. You know, and like I said, in my opinion, it was one of the worst of all the curses we've covered so far, and all the curses that we're gonna go cover, because you lose so much when you lose God's grace in your life. I know a good buddy of mine, he's another preacher. He posted some on Facebook today, and I just happened to come across it. And he was like, what's one of the most expensive things that you've ever done? And you know what I'm saying? He said, and he kind of said, most people won't even know it. And I kind of was reading through others' comments, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, what's the most expensive thing I ever done? And when I thought about it, I said, you know what? The grace that I lost in those years when I wasn't so sure about my relationship with the Lord, you know, and that's true. And I won't say that to be facetious or old. That's definitely true. That's the most expensive thing I've done. The grace that I've lost by not being sincere in my relationship with the Lord. So that's what last week's lesson was on. The loss of grace that comes from not and rejection, and the loss of grace that comes from not having a close relationship with the Lord. That's what I talked about last week. So if you want to watch that lesson last week, like I said, you'll see the background a little different because I did it from my car because I was at the hospital. So if you want to watch that lesson, go back and scroll up and down my Facebook, scroll my Facebook page. That was part 10 last week, and you can also find it. I already have it uploaded on my YouTube page as well. If you want to get that lesson, it was a really good one. The last 3 have been really good curses that I really got into and explained to why there's curse. And tonight is going to be the same thing. And like I said, tonight, I think, you know, the other ones, you might have been like, I don't deal with that. Tonight is definitely going to step on some people's toes. So if you're going to stay here for the night, this lesson tonight, you're probably going to get your toes stepped on, and you probably need to get your toes stepped on. So I'm just warning you ahead of time. But I hope you still hang in there, and I think this message can help you because it'll open up your eyes to some things that we got going on in our society today. So that being said, you know, me being a little late, I'm going to go ahead and pray so we get started. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for watching over us today. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today. Thank you for watching over my family as we go through this trying time when my wife went down, Lord. We know all things work together for good. And we don't know exactly why she was going through what she's going through, or why what happened. But we know it's all a part of your plan, Lord. And you've made it to where my daughter was able to step up and kind of take over her responsibilities, and it's given me the ability to continue to go forth and doing the work. And that's always a blessing, Lord. And I know we got to have that balance. I'm definitely take care of my baby, of course, and doing everything that she needs, but I'm also got to take care of your work as well. And you've made a way for me to continue to do that. I thank you for my minister members and their kindness, Lord, and their thoughts and prayers for us. We can definitely feel them, and it's definitely helping. She's, like she's getting some strength back, but she still got a lot of ways to go. So we're just thankful. I'm grateful for me being able to be here tonight. And we actually just, as always, Lord, send your spirit down upon my heart. Help me bring out this truth. This is a very important truth, a truth that all of us have experienced at some point. All of us has probably done at some point. I know I've done it in the past, Lord, and I pray that as I go through this, you help people see this. Even if I do step on their toes, I pray they don't get upset about it, Lord, but instead of getting upset about it, that they will take into consideration the wisdom I'm sharing with them and change their ways and do something different than what they've been doing with their life so they can have a closer relationship with you. As always, send your spirit down upon my heart as I bring this truth forward, so I might bring out these truths and help somebody have a closer relationship with you. And I pray you send your spirit upon their heart so they may be willing to receive this word and receive the wisdom from this word and have a safe, closer relationship with you as well. And I pray as always, Lord, let your spirit guide this lesson. That's what I always try to do when I put my lesson together. Let your spirit guide it. If I come up short, it's not because of a lack of effort, Lord, but let your spirit guide this lesson so we may all have a close relationship with you once this lesson is over and this time is spent here tonight. We love you so much and thank you for all you've done and given. Say this prayer in your wonderful Son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So, of course, y'all know we've been in 1 Samuel 15, been there for forever. Just so much good stuff. And again, that's why I always tell people, man, when people are talking about, they don't like to pay attention to like the Old Testament and all that. All these lessons have been out of the Old Testament. These have been Old Testament lessons. It's so much in there, and it really helps you appreciate the New Testament even more. I know I said people be like, man, I want to go good fast so you can get to the New Testament. Man, I'm going to still hear in this Old Testament because this stuff still applies because God does not change. He's the same yesterday, today, and he will be forever. So you have to understand that. So if you got your Bibles out, again, we're going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 15. I want to go and jump into this lesson because, like I said, it's a lot here, and I really want to dig into it because I know it's going to I'm going to step on some toes, but I know it's going to be some stuff that we've all dealt with before. I know me personally, I've dealt with in my life, things that I've done in my life, and we're going to see the curse that comes upon us because we have a tendency to do this thing. So I'm going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 15. I'm going to start in verse 20, but my text verse is going to be verse 24. But I'm going to start reading in verse 20. And if it's your first time watching these, I always like to let people know I am a King James believer, believe in the King James Bible wholeheartedly. That's what I read when I put my lessons together. But I do my lessons out of the New Living Translation. Just puts it in easier, puts in regular English, and it's easier for me to kind of explain and go through for my people. But if there is some kind of difference, there are differences. There's all differences. And a lot of time in the New Living Translation, they leave stuff out or they change stuff. And whenever I see that, I always point that out to let you know, like in this instance, you need to read the King James. But I'm not being a heretic. I just want to make sure people understand that. But with that being said, I'm gonna start over here in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verses 20 through 24. So in verse 20, of course, verse 20 we read before. I just like to give go a little bit of farther than the text verse before we get into the text verse. So in verse 20 says, but I did obey the Lord. Of course, we know what's going on. Samuel was the Lord gave Samuel command to go out and destroy the Amalekites. He told him to make sure he destroyed everybody and everything, destroy basically everybody and everything. Saying don't keep any of the plunder, don't keep any of the people alive. And of course, Saul disobeyed. He went and killed everybody except the king, and he got rid of all the bad plunder, but he kept the good stuff. And then he tried to blame it on the excuse. He tried to use an excuse like, oh, well, we wanted to keep it to make sacrifice to the Lord, and so that's what we was at. So I'm going to start at 20 and it's going to go down to 24. So it says, but I did obey the Lord, Saul insisted. Of course, this is where Samuel was confronting Saul by being disobedient. And of course, he's trying to rationalize what he's doing. He said, but I did obey the Lord. Samuel insisted. Saul insisted. I carried out the mission he gave me. I brought back King Agag, but I destroyed everyone else. Of course, that's not obedience. That's partial disobedience, which we talked about in the other lessons. Then he said, then my troops brought in the best of the sheep and cattle and plunder to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. And of course, we also did a lesson on that where we talked about obedience is better than sacrifice. Then he said, but Samuel replied, what is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings and sacrifices or your obedience to his voice? Obedience is far better than sacrifice, and listening to him is much better than offering the fat of rams. And again, that's what we talked about. He said, rebellion is as bad as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as bad as worshiping idols. So because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you from being king. So once again, that's what our lesson last week came from, the rejection from the Lord and the loss of grace. So tonight's lesson going to come from this verse here. So it said, then Saul finally, and that's the key, he said he finally admitted, yes, I have sinned. I have disobeyed your instructions and the Lord's command. For I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded. So that's it right there. That's where we're going to stop right there after this verse 24. He goes again. He said, then Saul finally admitted, yes, I have sinned. I have disobeyed your instructions and the Lord's command. For I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded. So tonight's point number 16 in this series that we've been doing. This lesson number 11, but point number 16. So there was a couple of them where I did like 2 or 3 at the same time because we on lesson 11, but point number 16. But point number 16, another curse of disobedience is this. A curse, and this is, like I said, this is a bad one, and this is one that I think we all have in common more than any of the others, and it's this right here. A curse of disobedience is a lack of accountability. Let me tell you that again. A curse of disobedience is a lack of accountability. This curse right here, this is one of the curses that I say it's going to probably step on some toes because we've all done it. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here, this curse right here, right now in our society today is running rampant. is running rampant in our society today. In our society today, most people have the mentality. Our society has formed this mentality, you know what I'm saying, has nourished this mentality that everybody is either, you know what I'm saying, you're a victim and, you know what I'm saying, in the world owe you something because you're a victim, or, you know what I'm saying, you know, either you got the victim mentality or it's somebody else's fault that you're in the situation you're in. Either you're the victim and you owe something, or it's somebody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? My mama didn't love me enough. Daddy didn't love me enough. You know what I'm saying? My environment did this. My hood did this to me. They taught me this. I didn't learn this. So it's other people's fault instead of just taking accountability for your actions. And though I say it's going to take you, I'm going to step on some toes tonight because I know plenty of people. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, every one of you, if not know your own self, and I know I've done it myself, so I can't, you know, so I know I've done it myself, but every one of you know somebody that's like that. You know what I'm saying? They live their life in open rebellion, doing exactly, going against all of God's laws, not going against God's laws and man's laws. You know what I'm saying? But then the moment things go bad, it's all, woe is me. Oh, poor me. You know what I'm saying? They live their life as a rebel, doing the things that they're not supposed to be doing, doing everything they're not supposed to be doing, and not doing the stuff they're supposed to be doing. And then when the consequences of their action pop up, it's woe is me. And it's somebody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? They never just come out and say, you rarely see them say, oh man, I'm just a terrible person. You know, I'm just a terrible person, or I just make terrible decisions because of my own self-desires. You rarely these days see people that have the character to do that. You know what I'm saying? They have the character to say, oh no, it's not, no, it ain't the government, it ain't my neighborhood, it ain't my mom and dad, it's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the problem. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like those relationships, when people break up, they're like, it ain't you, it's me. You know what I'm saying? We rarely see that these days. Everybody always, you know, blaming somebody else. You rarely see somebody just come up forward and be like, man, you know, my bad, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? I messed up. You know, I made a misjudge, I misjudged, or I made a mistake. No, it's always somebody else's fault, because our society has taught us that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Our society has taught us that if things ain't going your way, it's not because you're a terrible person. It's not because you're making bad decisions. It's not because you're weak. You know what I'm saying? It's not because you're being disobedient. It's because it's somebody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? They didn't nurture you enough. They didn't teach you enough. They didn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? And yes, some of it, don't get me wrong, some of it can come from, you know, your background, your environment, how you raise and things like that. But you gotta, there comes a point in your life where you gotta take accountability for your own actions. You know what I'm saying? I could have easily used all the excuses. Mom was on crack, dad was on crack, everybody in my neighborhood, you know, sold drugs, was on drugs, did drugs, whatever. So I could have easily got caught up in life and blamed that being from a father's home. I could have easily did it. But I realized, man, okay, yes, that's how my life started out. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's what I went through, but it don't have to be that. I can make different decisions. I can do different things. I can go down a different path that'll take me in different directions. You know what I'm saying? There's at some point where you got to take accountability for your life, and most people won't do that. You know what I'm saying? Most people won't do that. Most people won't just say, man, I messed up. I misjudged. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense, because if you really look at it, if you really think about it, you really look at it, it goes all the way back to the original sin. And again, y'all, when I be putting these little stuff together, y'all like, man, that dude's genius. I never think about this. I don't even think about this when I read it until I put these lessons together. No, I say the Holy Spirit take over and he gets some stuff. But if you really think about it, that lack of accountability, it goes all the way back to and that's why I say it's a curse of disobedience, because it goes all the way back to the original, the first act of disobedience. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Adam and Eve and the fruit. You know what I'm saying? Adam and Eve and the fruit. It goes all the way back to there. You see what I'm saying? Because think about it. What happened when God confronted Adam? What did Adam say? No, God, y'all know the story. God told him, don't touch the fruit, don't eat the fruit, don't look at the fruit. You know what I'm saying? Then of course the serpent came in, convinced Eve that if she touched the fruit, she eat the fruit, she'll be just like God. You know what I'm saying? And when he said that, what he said, she looked at it. and she saw that it was desirable. You know what I'm saying? It was good for eating. So again, the devil may have opened her eyes or showed her to her or enticed her with it. But it was her own selfish desires that made her make the decision to touch it and to eat it. You see what I'm saying? Because she said when she looked upon it and when she thought that she could be like God, that's when she took on and eat it, and then she took it to her husband, he ate it. So then when God, of course, y'all, that's the story, in a nutshell. And of course, y'all, most people don't even go to church know that story. But of course, you know what happened when later on when God came and was like, hey, where y'all at? They was hiding in the bushes, covered themselves. They made an apron of leaves to cover themselves. You know what I'm saying? So God was like, hey, where y'all at? And what Adam said, oh man, we hid ourselves because we was naked. How you know you was naked? How did you eat the fruit? And what was the first thing Adam said? Now you notice he was confronting Adam. He didn't go to Eve. He went to Adam. Did you eat the fruit? Why did he go to Adam? Because Adam was the one that was supposed to be held accountable. He was the man. He was supposed to be the leader. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that God created first. So he was the oldest, so to speak, but he was the one that God created first, because that's how God set up society. So what did he do? He went to the man. Did you eat the fruit? And what did Adam say? Yeah, Lord, I know you said not to do it. You know what I'm saying? I did it. What he say? Man, it's the woman. And that woman you gave me, that woman that you made for me, I was cool by myself with me and the animals. You made that woman, and she brought that food and she tricked me and she made me eat it. You know what I'm saying? So right there, now taking the very first sin, the very first man, the very first sin, and we see already us not taking accountability. And Adam didn't take accountability. So of course, after Adam pointed the finger at Eve, what did God do? He go confront Eve. Why did you eat the fruit? You know what I'm saying? Why did you? Oh, it was that serpent. That serpent tricked me, Lord. You know what I'm saying? It was the serpent, he tricked me. And the bad part about that whole situation, so Adam blamed the Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent, and the serpent was the only one that stood on business. And I know he's representing the devil, but you don't see him, you know what I'm saying, well, Lord, I was raised in the dirt and the way I was raised, so I was mad at you, so I convinced her to do it. No, he just stood on business. He took his punishment, you know what I'm saying, which he's still suffering today. He was the only one in that situation that stood on business, but the humans, the woman and the man, the one that actually received the law, they received the command not to do it. What did they do? As soon as they were confronted, they blamed somebody else. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't take accountability. So we see, and that has trickled down in our society to this day, because like I said, our society this day has taught everybody that, oh, it ain't your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? You just a victim. Poor you. And that's what our society done. You know what I'm saying? And just like blaming others was, you know what I'm saying, Adam and Eve's first reaction, that first instinct, that first go-to, most people today, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because look at our text verse. God, Samuel said, man, why did you do this? Why did you disobey the Lord? And it said he finally admitted to it. So you see what I'm saying? Why did he finally admit it? Because what he was doing, he was rationalizing it. He rationalized, and that's what we do. We'll do stuff that we know we're not supposed to be doing. We'll go to places we know we're not supposed to be going. We'll be around people we know we're not supposed to be around. No, we're not supposed to be around these people. No, we're not supposed to be in these places. And yet what we do, we're rationalizing. We'll rationalize why we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did. And that's what Saul had been doing this whole conversation. Saul been trying to rationalize why he did it. And then when he finally confronted to it, he couldn't get out of it. He said, well, you know what I'm saying? My men made me do it. You know what I'm saying? That was the people wanted. I was afraid of them. That was the people wanted. You know what I'm saying? And that was like, but the thing is, you got to understand, he's the king. So it don't matter what the people wanted. You're the king. It's your responsibility. Therefore, you got to take accountability for it. You know what I'm saying? It's his responsibility. It was still on him. Even if that's what the people wanted, it's still on him. You know what I'm saying? My kids, if I let them pick the menu, they eat, pizza. I say my grandkids, my kids are older now, so they eat healthy. But, you know what I'm saying? My grandkids, when they come over, if they want to, they eat candy and ice cream all day. And I can send them back home sick. You know what I'm saying? That's all I let them eat. That's what I want to eat. But it's my responsibility as granddad and authority's house to make sure they eat the right stuff. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I do let them eat, start out eating candy nice in the morning if they want to, but it's not all day. I make sure they get some food too. But you know what I'm saying? I am a little bit lax with them than I am with what I was with my kid. So when they go back home and they sick and they mom get mad, she can get mad at me because I let her do it because it was my responsibility. It's my account. I got to take accountability for that. I'm the one that fed them that, and now they throwing up on the car on the way home, or they sick or when they get back home because I let them eat junk food. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what we got to do. We got to start taking accountability for that, and we don't. They first go to very first sin ever, and the moment they was confronted to it, what they do? Blame somebody else. Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. And that's what we do in our society. Most of our first go-tos, instead of just saying, you know what, I'm a terrible person. Now I met some people that's honest, like, hey man, my bad. You know what I'm saying? But it's rare these days to find people that have the character to self-evaluate and realize, like, hey man, I did this. That's on me. I'm just a terrible person, or I make terrible decisions. You know what I'm saying? It's rare. Everybody want to point the finger at somebody else. What up, Peanut? Man, appreciate you being here, bro. It's been a while. I hope you've been good. Appreciate you being here tonight. But we see it all over our society. And I'm going to go over, like, I got so many examples, but I'm going to go two of the main ones, because even just these two main ones, if you see, you can see how a lot of problem in our society stems from a lack of accountability. You know what I'm saying? One of the main ones, the two main ones, the first one is we see it in our churches today. You know what I'm saying? We see it in our churches. We see the lack of accountability in our churches today. We have all these huge, mega, happy-go-lucky, come as you are, leave as you were churches. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, and the word has become so watered down, and it's become so sugar-coated that our churches are ineffective no more. Pastors are ineffective. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're not giving the people what they need. They're giving the people what they want. You know what I'm saying? And what the people need is the uninhibited word of God. They don't need a sugarcoat one. Y'all knows I give it to you. I give it to you straight. You know what I'm saying? Also, you might step on some toes tonight. I'm going to give it to you straight because that's what you need. I'm not here to give you what you want. And that's why I don't have a huge ministry. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a huge ministry. You know what I'm saying? But most churches, if you go to most churches, even though the pastor's supposed to be in charge, most churches are ran by the women and the children. They doing what the women want to do. They got freaking coffee shops in there. They got all these plays, and they got all these extra little sidebar activities, and they do more little extracurricular sidebar activities that they do to actually get in the word. Well, the kids ain't going to sit there and listen to the word. They're going to be bored. Or the women, they got to get home to start cooking, or they got to get home to shop or whatever. So, I just shortened it up and I just made it a little bit easier to digest. No, that's not what they need. They need the word of God. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you got all these huge mega churches. Now, they're huge mega churches, but they're not helping anybody. You come in there and you'll be just as lost as you are when you left there. You know, I remember watching an interview with Joel Osteen, and he said this, and this is why I knew this dude was a crook and a fraud. And I don't try to talk about anybody. I don't know if he's saved or not. I don't do that. But these are words that came out of his mouth. I saw him. It ain't that I read it somewhere. I saw him. He was talking to somebody and in an interview, and they kind of mentioned sin. They were like, well, we noticed you don't really talk about sin. And he's like, well, I don't feel I need to talk about sin. People know that there are sinners, and I don't feel I need to talk about sin. I just try to give them the good parts of the word. What? Do people know? No, they don't know they are sinners. A lot of times people really don't realize the wrong that they're doing. And you know what I'm saying? Like I know when I did a lesson a few weeks ago when I talked about the disobedience, and I said partial disobedience or delayed disobedience is still disobedience. Partial obedience or delayed obedience is still disobedience. A lot of people didn't know that. They didn't realize, like, man, I never thought of that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I still did it, I didn't do it when God wanted me to do it. I didn't do it how God wanted me to do it, so I was still being disobedient. Exactly. A lot of people don't know that. People don't always know their sin. That's why you can go search this Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the reading of the prophet. I just finished up Isaiah, and I think I'm about to jump into, I'm in Ezekiel. The Bible study I'm doing with the kids is Ezekiel, and I just finished reading Isaiah for myself, and I think I'm going to Jeremiah next. I can't remember, but I'm in the prophets. But y'all know I read my Bible all the way through. There's not one prophet in the Bible that didn't preach on sin. Not one. There's not one single person in the Bible when God gave them a word to go give to the people that they didn't talk about the sins of the people. Even Jesus, now Jesus maybe not judged them or condemned them for their sins, but he talked about them sins. Because you remember when he met the woman at the well, he said, he was talking to her and she wasn't getting it. So, go get your husband. And she said, well, I don't have a husband. He said, you right in saying so. He said, because not only have you had been married, I think she had been married 5 times, and you've been married 5 times, and you're shacking up with boyfriend number 6. You see what I'm saying? Now, he didn't condemn her of her sin, but he did point out that she was sinning. She was living in a sinful way. You remember another situation when the lady got confronted with sin, the Pharisees came up and like, oh, Jesus, we caught this lady in the very act of adultery. You know what I'm saying? We caught in the very act. Now, according to the word, she got to be stoned to death. And they said Jesus didn't even look at him. He just started writing in the sand. And he said, okay. He said, go ahead and do it. He said, but I tell you what, let he without sin cast the first stone. You know what I'm saying? So it never looked up, just kept writing in the dust. I would love to know what he was writing in that dust. Like, I would love to know. I don't know if he was maybe writing down the commandments and they can see it. Now, he was probably writing down exactly what they were doing. I don't know. I would love to, because he said he never looked up. He just wrote in the dust, and one by one, they all slid off. You know why? Because he confronted them with their sin. You see what I'm saying? So there's nowhere in the Bible, not one prophet in the Bible, not one man of God in the Bible that preached the word of God and then preach on sin. But yet you got this man saying, oh, I don't think they need to hear about sin. I don't think why? Because the women and the children are leading the churches. The people are leading the churches. But it should be the pastor's responsibility to lead the churches. You know what I'm saying? And those pastors that do this watered down version of the word, that do this happy-go-lucky, don't bring people on conviction about the sin, someday they're going to have to stand before God. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to stand before God, and God is going to ask them, why did you not spread my word? Why did you not give them my word and you gave them the sugar-coated, watered down version? You know what I'm saying? Why did you not share the gospel and bring people on conviction about their sin like you're supposed to? And you know what they're going to try to do? They're going to try to blame somebody else. Well, it was that's what the people wanted. So, I just wanted to get them to the house so they can at least hear some kind of your word, or they can hear some of your word. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just wanted to get them in the church, Lord. I didn't want to push them away. I just wanted to get them in the church. And guess what? God ain't going to hear that. You were supposed to be the pastor. I don't care if it was one person in the church. Like for the first 6 months of my ministry, I had a ministry lost sheep. The first 6 months, it was me and this mentally challenged dude. You know what I'm saying? For 6 months, every meeting, it was me and this mentally challenged dude named Tony. There faithfully. It was just me and him. And he, of course, can't even grasp most of what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure he picks up some of it, but most of what I'm saying, he don't even grasp it. And guess what? I still gave him the word. Me and him sit there. We have a little conversation. I ask him if he want to read something, like, you know what I'm saying, Tony, you want a certain chapter you want to read? And I read that chapter to him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not my responsibility to get the booties in the church. It's my responsibility to give the word. You shouldn't be worried about it. But guess what happens? The women run the church. The kids run the church. We got inflatables. Come on down to the church. We doing this, come on down to the church. And they'll come down to church. They'll have a great time. They'll get their coffee and they'll get, the inflatables and they get hot dogs, but they won't get the word. And they leave there just as lost. Why? Because the pastors and the leaders of the church is not willing to take accountability. You know what I'm saying? They're not willing to take accountability. They want to blame everybody else. Well, this is what the people want. God ain't going to hear that. And that's why I don't change up. Like I said, I mentioned that earlier. I don't change up. I'm telling you, I would love to do a quick, take this little point, give y'all the color, boom, 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 be done in 5 or 10 minutes, move on to the next one, and get through this chapter. You know what I'm saying? But every time I sit down and I start putting my lesson together, and I start thinking about it, and I start researching, the spiritual stuff start popping out like, man, you need to bring that up. Man, you need to bring that up. Man, you need to bring that up. And the next thing you know, I got 5 or 6 pages of notes. And I already know if I got 5 or 6 pages of notes, that's going to be an hour and a half. So it ain't no point even going to the next one. I would love, and I've had people that reach out to me, man, like, man, why don't you speed it up a little bit? So, and it's not, and I would say this, it's not a bad, they didn't mean it in a bad way. And to them, they're like, man, and I want to be honest, because in case they watching, I don't want to feel like I took it offensive. I understood what they were saying. They were saying like, man, what you're saying is so good. Everybody should hear it. And I believe more people would hear it if you just shorten your lessons. That's basically essentially what they were saying. But then I always hit them with, okay, that sounds good, but we'll go and sit in a movie theater for 3.5 hours and watch Avengers Endgame. But you got to tell me if my sermon is more than 45 minutes, then people ain't going to listen. You see what I'm saying? A man, a woman, a person will invest time in what they really want to invest their time in. If you really trying to have a close relationship with the Lord, then you will sit here for my hour and a half while I go through these do this lesson on one little verse. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to spend an hour and a half on one verse a night, and it won't bother you because you're trying to get fed, and you know I'm feeding you and I'm giving you the truth. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't focus for the hour and a half, then maybe it's not me that you should be, worried about. It's your relationship with God that you should be worried about. Come tell you something. If I go to church and the pastor say, I got 1 point, we should be here for 20 minutes, and 3 hours later we still in there, guess what? I'm still gonna be sitting there for 3 hours. I'll be like, man, this nigga lied, but I'm gonna still be there for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because anytime I feel somebody is giving me some truth, something that's gonna enhance my life, especially gonna enhance my relationship with the Lord, I'm gonna be there for that. And that's what I believe. I hope I'm doing. I've had comments from you guys. I don't know. I don't always get comments. Every once in a while I get a comment back like, hey man, good lesson. Appreciate that, bro. That really helped. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while that happened. But whether I get the comments or back, this is how I feel. This is my teaching style. This is what I want to do because I like to have stuff broke down completely for me. I like to have stuff covered from every vantage point for me, and it helps me understand it more and soak it up more, and bring me under conviction to want to do it more. So that's why I bring it. I teach y'all. I'm basically teaching y'all the way that I will learn. You know what I'm saying? When I do this little point, like I said, yes, I can put together a little outline and be real quick about it, but I'm teaching y'all the way I learn. I get deep into it, and I try to bring examples. I bring Bible examples. I bring life examples, and I give you everything to prove to you that this point of being disobedient brings about a lack of accountability, which is one of the curses. I'm gonna do everything I can think of to prove my point to you and hopefully bring you under conviction about it. That's what I'm gonna do. And you know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know what I'm saying, I do it the way I do, because I feel this is the talent the Lord has given me. This is the way He's given me this talent. This is the way my talent manifests. You know what I'm saying? So even though, yes, I might be, if I shorten it up, I can probably get more views. That'll be great. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, is that what God wants me to do? God is not concerned with how many views I get. He's concerned with the quality of the views I get. And when I get the views, it's the stuff I'm saying helping bringing people closer to Him. That's my concern. So that's why I don't change up. It's not because this is my routine, this is how I do it. I don't change up because I feel this is what's needed. You know what I'm saying? And when I get to, at the end of the day, at the end of my life, when I stand before God, I'm going to have to be the one that's going to have to answer for the lost sheep ministry. Now, I might get before God like, man, if you went so darn long with it, you could have talked so much more. You could have got so much more in my word. You know what I'm saying? Like, my bad, bro. That's all I can say. My bad. You know what I'm saying? You the one to put that Holy Spirit in. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get up there and be like, boy, why did you speed through that? You should have spent more time. There was somebody that was there that day that needed to hear a little bit more. They need you to get into a little bit more detail, but you was more worried about getting views, and you sped through it, and they didn't get the help they need. That's what I don't want to hear. You see what I'm saying? Because again, at the end of the day, I got to have that accountability. I got that accountability, and I'm willing to accept that. And that's why I choose to do it the way I do it. It ain't that I don't take suggestions. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it into heart. But again, I take it into heart. Somebody give me a suggestion, I take it to heart, think about it. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I feel the Lord leads me to do, because I know I'm going to be the one that's going to have to stand before Him. So you got to understand, and a lot of the falling away from the church, the watering down of the church, the lack of faith in God in our society today, it all comes from, you got these weak preachers that's being put in control, that has been given these churches or put in these positions, and they're not taking accountability for their position. They're letting the women and the children run the church. You even got some churches that the pastors are women, which again, I have no qualms with equality and all that. But the word of God say a woman not supposed to have authority over a man. You can be mad at me because I said that all you want. That's in the Bible. You go to God with that. He said, matter of fact, if a woman wanted to know something, she need to be quiet till she get home and ask her husband. That's what God said. You know what I'm saying? So I've had people come to me like, man, I'm in this church, cool church, but as a woman, and I always tell them, hey, that's what I know a lot of people like Joyce Meyer. I know good friends of mine, they like Joyce Meyer. They get something from him. I'm never going to tell people not to do something. If they're learning and they're actually getting closer to God, because I'm never going to tell people to not do that. You know what I'm saying? If that's helping you get closer to God, then by all means, I just wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I walk in the church and it's one there like, oh, this ain't the church for me. I actually had a friend of mine from Houston recently. He said, man, I'm in this church and it started off good, but here lately they've been having this woman preacher come in, and at first it was like every 9 at the end thing, but he said now I'm noticing it's more and more and more, and it's almost like she's kind of taking over kind of thing. Like, I don't feel right about it. I said, man, he said, what should I do? I said, bro, the fact that you calling me with and you feeling this way is the Lord has already brought your heart and conviction about it. You already know what you need to do. I said, you ain't got to ask me. The Lord has already showed you what you need to do. And he, messaged me a few weeks back, said, man, we had to go ahead and move to another church. I didn't like the direction it was going. You see what I'm saying? But that's the thing with our churches. And because of our churches have broken down, we got men, the leaders of the churches that is not being accountable for the churches like they supposed to, not taking on the responsibility they supposed to, is bleeding into our society. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the main things, that the main causes of the problems we got going on today. When we look at all the evil going on in the world, all the bad stuff that's going on in the world, the killing, the drug dealing, the murdering, the sex trafficking, all this stuff, all that goes back to a lack of faith. We have a lack, you know what I'm saying? Our issue in this country is not that there's so many bad people doing bad. It's not enough good people doing good. It's not enough good people doing the things that they know they're supposed to be doing, because God has showed us that's what we're supposed to be doing. No, they're not taking accountability for the action. You got to understand, when you call yourself a Christian, there's a certain accountability that comes along with being a Christian. That's why you're supposed to change. That's why you shouldn't, excuse me, y'all. That's why you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, frequent the places you used to frequent. You shouldn't hang with the people you used to hang with if they're doing bad things, because now you have an accountability to God. You got accountability to the people in your world, because to somebody in your world, you might be the best Christian they know. You know what I'm saying? So if you still acting like the world, you still doing the same thing that you used to do in the world, then, you know what I'm saying, you're not taking accountability for your actions, and you can actually lead somebody else astray. And we get that a lot in the church, and that's why the churches are so ineffective these days, and it's bleeding to our society. And that's one of the major examples of that how bad, why that lack of accountability is such a bad curse. And another one is our homes. We see that the lack of accountability of our homes these days. You know what I'm saying? This is really, you ladies, this is gonna probably step on a lot of your toes. This one right here, you know what I'm saying? But that's another major one. Like I said, one of the major ones is the lack of accountability in our churches. Is why our world is going astray. And another major one, and then, like I said, I could have did more, but I already had 6 pages, so I couldn't go any more. But this one right here, this is a huge one. We see the lack of accountability in our homes. You know what I'm saying? Look at our children. Look at our children these days. And I say our children because they're all our children. The children are out of control. You are out of your mind if you look at the children and the way they're behaving these days and say, oh, they're fine. These children are out of control. They are being locked up at an alarming rate. You know what I'm saying? Not just for little petty, silly children stuff, throwing rocks or something like that, or breaking windows, or vandalism, something like that. No, they're getting locked up in a alarming rate for serious adult, you know what I'm saying, adult charges. I had to come read my word, adult charges. You know what I'm saying? They're dying at an alarming rate, whether it's by violence, you know what I'm saying, from other children, drug ODs, suicide. I can't tell you how many people in this little small town that I stay in, how many children that have grew up with my kids, went to school with my kids, that have died from overdoses on this fentanyl and that, all that mess. Why is this going on? You know what I'm saying? Why is this going on? Because we have a lack of accountability in our homes. You know what I'm saying? Because we're taking our accountability as parents, and instead of taking accountability as parents and teaching our kids the morals they need and the principles they need at home, instead what we're doing, we're depending on the government to do it. You know what I'm saying? Through the school system. We're expecting the teachers to go in there and teach our kids discipline, and go in there and teach our kids how to behave, and go in there and teaching our kids how to think. And the government is fine with doing so. But look at what's going on now. Look at the whole transgender. Because they all right, y'all want us to teach them, we'll teach them, but we're going to teach them that a boy can be a girl and a girl can be a boy. You know what I'm saying? We're going to teach them that it's okay for 2 boys to be together or 2 girls to be together. You know what I'm saying? We're going to teach them that it's okay to change your identity and don't even tell your parents about it. That's the law they just passed in California. A kid can go to school and say, I'm a girl, but I want to be a boy. And that school can start prescribing them hormones and medications that change, to have a permanent effect. And they don't even have to tell the parents. That is insane to me. Like, I don't know if y'all saw Elon Musk. He moved his headquarters from California to Texas because of it. It was so bad. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, he had a transgender. One of his oldest kids was a transgender, and I think he ended up dying or something. He said, I don't know if it's one of those he's dead to me or he's actually literally dead, but because of the transgenderism, they basically tricked him into signing some paper that allowed his child to have these hormone therapies and all that stuff, and it ended up killing him. You know what I'm saying? From what I read, that one I didn't see, but I did see him talking about it. But he said he's dead, and I don't know if he's, like I said, I don't know if he's literally dead or it's like he's dead to me kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's what we're doing. We're instead of teaching our kids morals at home, teaching our kids how to behave at home, spanking their butts at home, we're sending them off to the school, expecting the schools and the teachers to be the one that get them under control. I got this statistic here. It says 71% of teachers and 90% of law enforcement officials state that a lack of parental supervision at home is a major factor that contributes to violence in schools. Get that again. 71% of teachers, so that's the majority, just about every teacher, and 90% of law enforcement officials say it's the lack of parental supervision at home. In other words, the parents are not taking accountability for being parents at home. You know what I'm saying? And instead of us being parents at home and teaching our kids how to act, instead of what we're doing, we're letting Sexy Red teach our kids how to act. We let Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, teach our girls how to be women through their music. Oh my goodness, I hate their music. I don't know them ladies, so I don't hate them, but I absolutely abhor their music. Oh, whenever I hear that voice come on, Sexy Red, Nicki Minaj, any of them women that's always talking about their vagina and having sex and half naked. I can't believe the president, the lady running for the president of the United States, had a girl on there twerking at the darn Democratic convention. What that got to do with getting our country back in order? You see what I'm saying? But that's where our society has been. We let people like that, these people influence, you know what I'm saying? These celebrities and superstars have more influence over our kids and how they behave than we do. And so that puts us in a sad state. Because, you know what I'm saying, instead of Sexy Red teaching your daughter how to be a woman, or Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B or any of these whores that sing on TV, instead of them teaching your daughter how to be women, you should be doing it. Because you get the Bible, what the Bible say? The Bible says, let the older women teach the younger women how they should carry themselves. The older OG women supposed to be teaching the younger women how to carry themselves. That's why we have women that can't even cook no more these days, because you ain't got grandma or mama teaching them how to cook. Mama don't know how to cook. She just throw everything in the microwave, you know what I'm saying, because grandma didn't teach her, and so the girl don't know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. That's not how it's supposed to be. The women were supposed to teach the women, the older women were supposed to teach the younger women how to behave. This is how you take care of your husband. This is how you make sure that your man is happy. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to pass that knowledge down, and they haven't been doing it. So now, since we don't have the older women doing it, because the older women are not taking accountability, the moms are not taking accountability and raising their daughters the way they should be raising their daughters, you got Sexy Red doing it. You got Megan Thee Stallion doing it. You got Cardi B doing it. You got Nicki Minaj doing it. You see what I'm saying? And these are the worst, wholesome, most horrible examples of what you want your kids to be following. You know what I'm saying? If you really love your kids. But that's where I sided, because, again, we're not taking accountability as parents. And don't worry, women, men, we in there too. You know what I'm saying? Instead of men being men and taking care of their kids like they supposed to, now we got Gucci Mane or NBA Youngboy or The Baby or Pooh Shiesty or T Grizzly or one of these other thugs or one of these other idiot dudes that all they do is rap about is gun and sex and violence. We got them teaching our boys how to be men. You know what I'm saying? We got them teaching that it's okay to go out there and have sex with all these women, unprotected sex, and don't, because you hear them rapping about the sex and the having the sex and all that and having the babies, but you never hear about them taking care of their babies. Every once in a while they'll say, they'll throw something in there like, oh, hanging out with my kids. You know what I'm saying? But even then they say, oh, my baby mama acting a fool, something like that. We got these boys, these boys that's just putting together some words to make some dollars, teaching our boys how to be men. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us doing it, we teaching our boys how to be men. You know what I'm saying? And instead of being men and taking accountability for our actions and being fathers, we leaving the kids, you know what I'm saying? We leaving the kids in the hands of these rappers. These most of them don't even do the stuff they saying they doing. They just putting the words together. You know what I'm saying? I remember like the guy 2 Chainz, I saw an interview with him, and this dude, you know what I'm saying, he always talking about thugging and rapping and selling dope and all this. And this dude went to college, had a 4.0 in college. Never heard him talk about that. I like, if I wasn't even watching if I want to watch that interview, I would have never imagined that if you listen to his lyrics. And that's what happened. Instead of taking accountability as men and you know what I'm saying, and staying at home, if you go lay down with that woman, you help take care of that woman and a child, you know, get married, do things the right way. Instead of taking accountability for our actions, we just leaving our kids in the hands of these rappers. You know what I'm saying? We keep leaving our kids in the hands of these women and letting the women raise them by themselves because we won't take accountability. You know what I'm saying? And all the broken homes because of the single parenting, you know what I'm saying, is because of parents not taking accountability for their actions. You know what I'm saying? They got the men not taking accountability for having unprotected sex, you know what I'm saying, with women, and you know what I'm saying, and going into them without sex. And I don't want to be, you know, vulgar on here, but y'all know what happens if you have unprotected sex, and you know what I'm saying, and taking accountability what comes after that. But then you also got the women that keep on letting the men do it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to take accountability too. It ain't just all on us. You know what I'm saying? You got the women that's constantly opening up their legs and letting the women do it. You know what I'm saying? And if you ask a single woman why she's single, you know what I'm saying, one of the first things she's gonna say, man, because his baby daddy ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say the other word. My baby dad ain't ish. He ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm single. I thought he was gonna be a man, but he ain't ish. But instead of taking accountability and saying, like, you know, I was being dumb or I was just being a whore. I was being a whore. I was out there and opening my legs for anybody that wanted me to open for them. And this is the result of it. You know what I'm saying? They blame, he ain't ish. He ain't this. You know what I'm saying? I knew this woman. And this is what I'm talking about. I knew this woman from my old neighborhood when we lived down in North Nashville. She was one of our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? This woman had 9 kids. Now, she was the same age as my wife. She's about my age at this time. But this was about 20 years ago. Yeah, because we moved there, gave my life to God. Yeah, I gave my life to God about 20 years ago. So this was a little over 20 years ago. But no, we was all the same age. This lady had 9 kids and 5 or 6 baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? 9 kids and 5 or 6 baby daddies. That's insane. And what do you think those kids are today? Now, her girls, some of the girls was okay. I mean, they got kids of their own, but for the most part, they doing okay. They doing the single mom thing, taking care of their kids or whatever. But all of her boys were either in prison or has been in prison. And some of her serious, like robbing and killing and stuff. I think one of her sons, like, he's in prison, like, got life in prison or something like that. And he's the same age as my sons. You see what I'm saying? Why? A lack of accountability for the. Now, 1 or 2 times, okay. You know what I'm saying? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? But you 9 kids, 6 baby daddies? That's insane. That's a lack of accountability. Why do you keep doing this? Keep getting with these guys that you know that they're not going to take care of you. You can tell by the way they live and the things they do that they're not responsible individuals, but you constantly laying down with them and open your legs up for them with unprotected sex. And of course, you go back to the Bible again, that's disobedience because you're not supposed to be having sex anyway with one outside of marriage. So you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, that disobedience, it breeds a lack of accountability. And guess who was taking care of those 9 kids? The government was. She had all kind of food stamps and welfare. You know what I'm saying? When the food stamp came around, you know what she was doing? Selling them. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I partook. You know what I'm saying? I'm down for the getting $100 for the $50. You know what I'm saying? To take care of the groceries. I was down because hell, she was getting like $2,000-$3,000 in food stamps every month. $2,000-$3,000 welfare check every month. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because she wasn't taking accountability for her actions, keeping her darn legs closed, and the guy she was with wasn't taking accountability for their actions, standing there taking care of them kids. So the government had to do it. And again, when the government do it, we'll do it. But we gonna raise them the way we want to raise. We gonna you know what I'm saying? Of course, they had to go to public schools and all that. So we gonna put our just when has the government did anything that actually benefit us? Everything they do is to benefit them and to keep them in power. You see what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, we love to take care of them. And that way now you're going to have to vote for me so you can get more. You vote for me, you can get more. And that's what the Democrats are bad about. Vote for me so you can get more. You know what I'm saying? If you vote for them Republicans, you're going to, you know what I'm saying? You vote for the Republicans, they're going to take your food stamp away. They're going to take your welfare away. They're going to actually make you take accountability for yourself. Vote for me. And they use that to really essentially keep us all on a plantation and we don't even realize it. You see what I'm saying? And then there was this other one, and this one right here. And I said, I'm definitely stepping. I hope she ain't watching. She watching something. I hope she ain't watching because she gonna get so mad at me because I love her to death, and she know I've got on her about it. Not got on her, but me and her, she get on me about being late all the time, and I get on her about her baby daddy kind of thing. But I know this girl. You know what I'm saying? I love her dearly. So I say, I hope she ain't watching. If she's watching, I hope she don't get mad at me. But actually, she mad at me all she want because she watched The Chosen without me, and we supposed to watch together. So I'm mad at her, so she can just be upset. But I know her. I love her dearly. She like a sister to me. But she had this dude she was messing with. This dude had like 4 or 5 other kids that he was not taking care of. She knew he wasn't taking care of his kids. You know what I'm saying? She even talked about how he wasn't taking care of his kids. But yet she still had sex with him and had a kid with him herself. What'd you expect to happen? You see what I'm saying? What did you expect to happen? And then not only that, she had the kid thinking and I guess maybe y'all think like convince yourself, well, maybe it'll be different with me. I don't know if that may be what she was thinking, but she had the kid, you know what I'm saying? And I love him to death. He's I call him my daughter, my niece and my nephew. I love him to death. We're that close. They call me Uncle John. You know what I'm saying? So I love him, kid. Great kid. She's a great mom. So I'm not taking that away from her at all. You know what I'm saying? But it has been rough. I know me and her talked about the struggle she had to go through being a single mom. So she has the one kid, and you know what I'm saying? Of course, the dude not taking care of him and whatever, not doing nothing for the kid at all. So I'm thinking she learned a lesson. 2 years later, I don't know what happened, but she hooks up with the guy again and gets pregnant by him again. That's insane to me. To me, that's just insane. That makes absolutely no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Again, to get this food once, all right, but twice? That's insane to me. And he's not taking care of neither one of them. Now, again, she is taking care of her kids. I mean, they're great kids. I love them to death. Great kids. She's doing her thing, but she's putting herself in such she's putting herself in a difficult situation because she just wouldn't take accountability for her actions. You know what I'm saying? And it's so sad because if you can look at the majority of our problems that's going on in our society right now can be traced back to parents just not taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the man or the woman. You know what I'm saying? Again, the woman not being more selective of the guys that she's, you know what I'm saying, that she's being, that she's letting into herself and just keeping her legs closed, and the men not staying around for the consequences of their actions. Most of our problems in our society, most of the reason why we experience the violence in our society, the direction our kids is going in, is due to a lack of accountability. See what I'm saying? Nobody's taking accountability for their action. They're blaming somebody else. I'm gonna give y'all some stats, and I'm only gonna give you a few of them because I could have went on and on. There's pages and pages of statistics or stats on, you know what I'm saying, on a single parent home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna help you see from these stats on single parent home why being able to, you know, taking accountability is such not taking accountability is such a bad thing. I'm gonna give you a few stats on it. So, you know what I'm saying, when you look at, you know, fatherless homes, you look up stats on fatherless homes and things of that nature, and that's why I just Google stats on, you know, fatherless homes. It says 80% of single parent homes, the mom is the sole parent. 80%. That means 8 times out of 10, if some people have sex and the person leave, it's going to be the man leaving. So you see, again, the man is not taking accountability. The woman has to take accountability because the baby come out of her. You know what I'm saying? And even though these days girls are doing abortion and all that stuff, which is unnatural as well, but a lot of times once the parent, the woman have that kid, you know what I'm saying, they attach to her. And they go into mom mode. The same girl I was talking about earlier, I'll never forget when she first got pregnant, because she didn't think she'd get pregnant at first. And I remember when she first got pregnant, she was so depressed. She's like, I don't think I'm going to be a good mom. I'm not going to be able to take care of these kids. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I mean, she was so worried about it. And I told her, I said, man, look, you will be okay. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be okay. Your motherhood is going to cook in. And you're going to realize, like, you just built for it. You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling y'all, she's a phenomenal mother. So again, I'm not taking nothing away from her being a mother. I mean, she's a phenomenal mother, wonderful kids, both of them really smart. You know what I'm saying? They're really smart. She even do homeschool. I mean, she's a wonderful parent, and I'm not taking nothing away. But again, she put herself in a difficult situation because she wasn't taking accountability for her action. And that's what we do. So again, 80% of single parent homes, the mom is the sole parent. 71% of high school, 71%. Now you gotta understand these numbers I'm giving you, because it ain't like 50-50, like, all right, they might do it, they might not. No, if 71%, that means 9 times out of 10, that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? 7 times out of 10, that's what's gonna happen. 71% of high school dropouts are fatherless. You know, 71%. Children from single parent homes are twice as likely to have mental health problems compared to those of a married, coming from a married family. Fatherless children are more likely to abuse drugs, show signs of delinquent behavior, and be involved in teen pregnancies. Fatherless children. See what I'm saying? Because the dad didn't take accountability. Fatherless families are 4 times more likely to live in poverty because there's no father in the home to provide or to guide the family. You know what I'm saying? 4 times more likely. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from single-parent home. 70%. That is the vast majority. Again, 7 out of 10 people in jail are juvenile. 7 out of people, 10 juveniles that are locked up in state-operated facilities come from single-parent homes. These are major numbers. You know what I'm saying? It says some data suggests, and I wrote what it said. Like I said, I didn't do deep into it. I just did a quick Google search. It says some data suggests 72%. Let's go. You notice none of these are 60%. They're not 50%. 72% of long-term prison inmates come from fatherless homes. 72%. Now here's the last one. Cause like I said, I was pages of statistics of studies being done on fatherless home, but yet we still do it. We still not taking accountability. Here go the last one to give you. It said 75% of adolescent patients in substance abuse centers are from fatherless homes. See what I'm saying? It's fatherless home. And then I'm going to give you this last one, but it's actually kind of a good one. It says children who feel closeness to their father are 80% less likely to spend time in jail. You see what I'm saying? You see how important it is to take care of accountability, to take accountability. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like I can go on and on with these stats. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on with these stats, but you see just how important it is. Most of the crime and most of the reason why our country and our world is going in the situation and the direction it's going, it can all be traced back to people not taking accountability for their actions. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the one stat that you can't look up, the one stat, this is something that I know because I've done the research on my own. And I think this is the most important stat that you can see from the lack of accountability in the homes. And you know what I'm saying? It's important to understand that a majority of people that come from fatherless homes or single parent homes do not have a close relationship with God, especially when the father is not involved. Saying a majority of the people, and again, this is not, I can't give you no number on it, but when I go out, I know I'll be out here on my grind. I'll be out here soul winning. I'll be out there talking to people. You know what I'm saying? I do it every weekend. I'm out talking to people. And when I get to talk to people, y'all know me, I get personal. I want to know why you do what you do. And majority of the time, when I talk to people that don't have a close relationship with God, you know what I'm saying, or constantly in jail, or open rebellion, 9 times out of 10, they don't have a father in their home. You see what I'm saying? And it makes sense because the father is supposed to be the leader of the house. You see what I'm saying? The father is the one that's supposed to be the leader of the house. And God, if we do, and this, of course, if we was in the ideal world, if the world was operating the way God had meant for it to operate, the father is supposed to be the leader of the home, and God is supposed to be the leader of the father. You know what I'm saying? So it's the father that's going to be held accountable for the state of his children. And that's what dudes don't realize. Even if you're not around, you know what I'm saying? That baby mama might not know who the dad is. You know what I'm saying? She might be on Maury 10 times and still don't know who the dad is. I've seen it. That is obscene. That is just that's absurd. I've seen episodes of Maury where this one chick had been on there like 14 times or something like that, and still couldn't find out who the daddy was. God dang, like, I mean, what was she doing? Well, I know what she was doing. I know she was doing a lot of it. I know what she was doing, but I mean, that's insane. That's the prime example of not taking accountability. But you got to understand, so the mama might not know who the dad is because she was out here with her legs open to everybody, but God knows. And whether you in that home or not, you're still going to be held accountable for what that child does. You still going to be held accountable if that child has a relationship with God or not. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, all the kids know, even my grown kids. I got a couple grown kids that still stay with me because my one son, he has autism, so he's probably going to stay with me forever, you know what I'm saying, unless he live with his brother. Then his brother's the only person I trust to keep an eye on him kind of thing. But, you know what I'm saying, all my kids know, if you in this house, if you stay in this house, you stand under my roof, if my money is feeding you or my money is, you know what I'm saying, keeping you bathed and keeping you safe and protected, you taking it but the church. You know what I'm saying? And they don't like it. You know, my kids, they've been going to church. We go to church 3 times a week. I go to church, you know, Sunday morning, Sunday night, even though I'm kind of falling off going Sunday night because I got this new job. I have to be at work early, and Sunday's when I do my budget. So I've kind of fallen off there. I admit it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Sunday morning, Sunday night, you know, so for the most part, Wednesday night, you know what I'm saying? I do the Lost Sheep ministry too. I mean, we go to church 3-4 times a week. Then we do Bible studies at home. Why? Because I know I'm going to be held accountable for their relationship with God. They're not going to be able to stand before God and say, my dad didn't teach me. They're not going to be able to stand before God and say that my dad didn't lay that foundation down. No. You know what I'm saying? You might not have paid attention, but I made you but go to church. You know what I'm saying? I made you but, you know what I'm saying? We did the Bible studies. I even asked them questions to make sure they're involved. You know what I'm saying? You know, kids, half of it going in, maybe 30% going in, the rest going out, but I'm putting it in there. So it's not on me because I know I'm going to be held accountable. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to be held accountable to God himself. You know what I'm saying? It's not the woman. That's why I know it was such a coward move for Adam when he said the woman made me do it. No, you're the man. You're the one that I made. You're the one I created first. You're the man. You're supposed to be in charge. You don't try to blame your wife. Don't blame her for your mishap. Take accountability for your actions. You see what I'm saying? I remember, and again, it goes back when you see that, you see our society, how it's crumbling, it all goes back to that lack of accountability. Again, the woman not being more selective, not keeping her legs low, and the man not being taking accountability for his actions when he do. You know what I'm saying? I remember, you know what I'm saying, we look at the transgender movement now, and it has got insane. And like I said, you know, they making laws to where you got to recognize people's pronouns, you got to do that. I remember the first time I saw a video about transgenderism. And it was this little kid. It was a little boy. I'll never forget it. And it's so weird because I didn't think none of it at the time, but I still remember to this day. And this was years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. Because I was like, oh man, this is insane. This will never catch on. This will never happen or fly. And then y'all can see I was dead wrong. But I never forget it. It was a news. They was doing an article, and it was this little boy. He's like 6 or 7 years old, and his parents had started letting him transition to a little girl. You know what I'm saying? They were sitting there at the interview, and the mom was doing all the talking, and the dad was sitting there. He's like this little scrawny dude, and you can tell he was not the man of the family. He was just sitting there like, you know what I'm saying, like, yes, dear, kind of thing. And the woman talking like, yes, you know, he's so much more accepted among the girls, and he has so much more fun around the girls, and he don't have to worry about being bullied, and this and that. So we figure, you know, he like playing with dolls anyway, so we figure we just let him do it. You know what I'm saying? Right? And the husband's like, yes, dear. You know, she was running the family and she running the house, and she was he was allowing her to let this kid become a girl just because it was easier on him. You saying it was easier on him. Part of being a man is having to deal with bullies. Part of being a man is having to deal, you know what I'm saying, with nobody caring about you, and you still having to push through. That's part of being a man. That you gotta. That's going to be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Finding your place in society, finding your place in the pecking order, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Miss Tip, it's all good. You know, I'm going to post it on here. You can go back and watch it a little later on. Just appreciate you being here. You know what I'm saying? Better late than never, right? But again, you know what I'm saying? I remember watching it, and I thought, like, man, that is insane. But look at it now. Look how it's flourished now. Because again, women and children run this country. Men are not men anymore. Men don't run this country anymore. The women and children run this country. You know what I'm saying? It's the women that's back in this whole transgender movement. When you look at the videos of them, I remember I saw this one video, because I watched the Hodge Twin, they was playing this video, and there was this transgender, like, stripper basically performing in front of kids. I mean, doing a handstand in the chair, you know what I'm saying, shaking their booty and all that. Like, what's they got to do with the church education? And they was all just sitting there with their kids, just allowing it. And if you look in the room, everybody, it was all women. And it was the men that was there, they were feminine. You can tell they were definitely beta males. They wasn't real men. No real man was going to sit there and let some other man do a handstand with his booty cheeks out, slapping his booty, clapping his booty in front of kids. Because that has nothing to do with education. That's all driven by women because let them learn and get all the emotional stuff. And again, we're not taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? And these are just, like I said, these two right here, just the lack of accountability in the church and the lack of accountability in the homes. Those are just two. Y'all see, I'm already about all the time just going over those two. And look at, if you can look, majority of the problems in our world stem from those two. Just those two right there. So that's how important it is. That's why it's so important to be willing to take accountability for your actions. You know what I'm saying? And we can look through our history and our society. There were several others I wanted to go through. I'm going to have to go through them quickly because I'm almost out of time. But if you look through history and even the history in the Bible and look throughout our society, most of the things that we're going through, most of the problem we have is because people are not willing to take accountability. If we look at our lives, most of the thing that goes on in our lives is because we're not willing to take accountability for our actions. You know what I'm saying? We know the famous story of David when he killed Uriah. Why did he kill Uriah? Because he wasn't willing to take accountability for sleeping with this man's wife. So instead of just taking accountability, like, man, you know what? I messed up. I used my authority. I abused my authority. I made your wife give it up. And I abused my authority. And now I got a baby coming. Instead of him just taking accountability for his action, he tried to cover it up and had the dude killed. And then, of course, we know, look what happened to David and his family after that. You know what I'm saying? His family, you know what I'm saying, ended up having to kill his one son, kill the other son, because that son raped his sister, raped his own sister, and then that son ended up being killed by David's men. I mean, his house was a mess. All because he wouldn't take accountability for his actions. He wouldn't take accountability for stealing that man's wife. He tried to get around taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? You look at Joseph when he got sold into slavery. Why was his brother so jealous of him? Why did they sell him to slavery? Because he was snitching on them because they weren't willing to take accountability for their own laziness. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't want to take accountability for their laziness. And when Joseph went back and told Dad, man, Dad, they ain't doing nothing. You told them to do this, they ain't doing it. Instead of just taking accountability, like, you know what? We've been slacking off, guys. We do need to get on our stuff and get the work done that we don't need to get done. They get mad at him and send him into slavery. And then we got sold to slavery. He got put in prison because Potiphar's wife wouldn't take accountability for her lust. She wanted Joseph. It said Joseph was a fair man to look upon. Whenever say fair, that means he was fine, y'all. That's the Bible word for saying he was fine. You know what I'm saying? But because he was fine, she wanted to hook up with him, and he wouldn't do it. And instead of taking accountability for her action, she lied on him and said he tried to rape her. She blamed him instead. You see what I'm saying? Not taking accountability for your actions. You know what I'm saying? The older generation of the Israelites, the ones that had to go through the wilderness for 40 years, all died in the wilderness. Why? Because they weren't taking accountability for their actions. They was the one that was rebelling against God. That was the one that when God said go in to take the promised land, they said they didn't want to do it because there was giants there. You know what I'm saying? And so when God's like, all right, well, you don't want to go, you're going to just walk this wilderness. And then they got mad at God. He brought us out here just to kill us. He brought us out here because he couldn't provide for us. And they started blaming God because they was being rebellious. Wouldn't take accountability. You know what I'm saying? And we see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? We see it especially with like hood people, people from the hood, people that has like traumatized backgrounds, maybe been through some bad stuff. And I'm not saying there's nothing to take into account. But like I said earlier in the live, at some point, your environment, especially once you hit 18, man, it's not your environment. You can't no longer blame your environment and the way you grew up. Now you're an adult. You can make decisions on your own. You can make decisions for yourself. You can start doing it before you turn 18. But once you get 18, you got to get it up. You're an adult now. Yes, you had some bad stuff. Yes, you was abused when you was younger. Yes, you know what I'm saying, you was poor and you grew up in this terrible neighborhood. But you're 18 now. You're an adult. You can make decisions to put yourself in a better place. But you got so many people that stay in a cycle of oppression. They stay in a cycle of poverty because they keep on blaming their past. They keep blaming, oh, this happened to me when I was younger, so I get the better. You know what I'm saying? My brother, I got a brother. Love him dearly. Love him dearly. He is the worst at that. He is the worst. It's so bad that I can't really talk to him. Because every time I talk to him, all he does is focus on the past. Every time I talk to him, all he want to talk about is stuff that happened to him, 20, 30 years ago. And I told, bro, that happened 30 years ago. Nigga, why you still crying about that? You're a grown man. You are 40-something years old. You're about to be 40 years old. And you still crying about something that happened when you was 8, 9, 10 years old. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? And that's most people my past, my mama's on drugs and my dad. And like I said, I got all excuses. I can every excuse that people use to do dumb stuff, every excuse they use to keep from taking accountability for themselves, I have those same excuses. I can use those same excuses, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I make better decisions because I gave my life to God and God gave me the wisdom to see like, hey, yes, that might be the path that you were started on because the way the foundation of your life was laid, but you don't have to stay there. You can make different decisions. You can come serve me. That's what God showed me 20 years ago. You can come serve me. You don't have to keep on doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You can come serve me. I can get you where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? You got to take accountability for your actions. And people, my past, this happened to me. Woe is me. And they do that. And you see that a lot in the black community. I hate to say it, a lot in the black communities, the Hispanic communities, you know what I'm saying? A lot of minority communities that grew up rough. Like I said, yes, grew up. I'm not saying it wasn't nothing. I'm not saying it wasn't nothing, but it's only so long that I'm going to feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? It's only so long I'm going to feel sorry for you. A young kid that has no control of their life, you know what I'm saying? When you 18 and under, you really have no control. You're at the mercy of either the state because you're in state custody or the people that's raised you. You know what I'm saying? I understand. You know what I'm saying? I can understand. You can still make better decisions, but I will say I understand. I empathize with you. But once you hit 18, bro, and you still making those terrible decisions, it's just because you're a terrible person. And that's it. Take accountability for your answer. You are a terrible person and you need to make better decisions. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Once you hit 18, you're an adult, you can make different decisions. You can start doing different things. If you need to get some help to heal, get some help to heal. Make the decision to do that. You know what I'm saying? Find you a preacher somewhere or find you a good church to become a part of. Get in your Bible. Learn more about God. You can do things to heal yourself. You know what I'm saying? But if you just want to come and use that excuse, then you're just a horrible person. Stop blaming your past. It ain't your past that got you in the situation. It's your current mindset and your current desires that have you in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And you see another one I see all the time, people that will live their life in complete rebellion. You know what I'm saying? But then they blame God for the problem in their lives. Most of the stuff, and y'all probably heard me say this before, most of the stuff that I help people with, most of the problems that people have in their lives, most of the stuff that I'm always counseling people about, most of the things, the problems that I try to help people solve in their lives are self-inflicted. Most of them are self-inflicted. The decision that they're making, you know what I'm saying, they got them in the situation that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my brother, he's bad about it. I remember this one time, you know what I'm saying, he had a baby mama, he got 2 kids, and, he was with his baby mama, had been with her for like 5 years, they had 2 kids, they were living together, and hell, he wasn't even working. She was the one doing the working. He was sitting at home smoking and drinking all day, watching the kids. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget this time he hit me up. He's like, man, because, we used to do our thing back in the day. Y'all heard my testimony before. We used to have the girls and do the run trains and all that stuff. But, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's a time where you get, you get tired of all that. That gets old. And I never forget, like, man, it's this girl, because he was standing in the projects. And I never forget it. Like, man, this little young girl over here, she been, throwing her eyes at me kind of thing. And I think she want to give it to me. I'm thinking about taking it. And I told her, I said, bruh, I said, you already don't do nothing. The girl is already supporting you. Now, the only that he was abusive as well. So he was beating on the girl. He wasn't really contributing to the family. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, the one thing you got, at least you've been faithful. I said, the girl has already had to deal with so much. I said, bro, if you have sex with this other girl and she find out, and she's going to find out, I'm like, because you live in a project and people in the project don't have nothing to do but talk about what everybody else is doing. They're going to gossip and it's going to get back to her. I mean, the girl stay on like 2 buildings behind him. I said, it's going to get back to her. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get back to her and she's going to find out and she's going to leave. Man, I've been favored, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm letting you know right now. If you do that, be the biggest mistake of your life, you're going to lose your family. And you know what I'm saying? I'll be darned. A couple months later, he did it. She found out. And he went somewhere one day, came back, she was gone. And he didn't see her for like something like, I think it was something like 8 years. He didn't see his kids or something like that for 8 years. And man, he was so depressed. You know what I'm saying? And every time I thought, man, I can't see me. And it got to a point, and it wouldn't be that I didn't have sympathy for him. It got to a point, I said, I don't want to hear it, bro. I said, if you gonna call me and you gonna talk about your girl being gone and all that, I'm gonna hang up on you. I don't want to hear it. I told you what was gonna happen. I told you what was gonna happen. I don't want to hear it no more. Take accountability. You did that. Stop crying over spilled milk. You know what I'm saying? He eventually got back in touch with the kids, and the only reason why, because the baby mama ended up developing brain cancer, and he hired her, like somehow he hired a PI to find her, and the PI found her, and he's like, I'm not gonna tell you her address, but I'll give you her number, and if she's willing to talk to you, that's far as I'm willing to go. And he called her, and she was willing to talk to him because she found out she was diagnosed with brain cancer, and she didn't have long to live, and she wanted the kids, to be in the life, and I guess just, forgiving him and, getting it off her plate before she went through that door called death or whatever, and that's what happened. And a little bit after he got back in touch with her and started being able to talk to the kids again, she ended up passing away, which is sad because she was a cool young lady. But my point to all that was, to this day, like I said, he has a hard time letting go to pass. He still whines and complains about, losing her, when he had the ability to not lose her if he would just took accountability for his actions. You know what I'm saying? And we see that, y'all know it's political. We got the presidential election coming up, and it's already horrible. It's just going to get worse. It's already started off horrible, and it's just going to keep on getting progressively worse. It's already making me sick. So I can't get on my YouTube or Facebook without seeing something about it already, and we still got to November to go. You know what I'm saying? But you look in politics, you got the people blame the president for their problem. Oh, it's Biden's fault that inflation is Biden's fault and all this. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta understand, the president is just a puppet. So honestly, the only one I have seen that seemed like he did actually have some action and make a difference was Trump. He was the only one I saw that got in and put policies in and did stuff. Just about everyone else, Republican or Democrat, have all just got in there and they told the line. They did exactly what, they said they're going to do one thing, got in there and did something else. But that's what the president is. He's someone that point your finger at and blame for the problems in your life. You know what I'm saying? And then you got these supposed to be our leaders, but you got the Democrats blame the Republicans for everything that's going on right now. And the vice versa, you got the Republicans blaming the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of pointing fingers, you know what I'm saying, when both of them, in reality, if they really be honest, it's both of their problems. Because everybody that gets in there, they get in there and do what they need to do for themselves to keep themselves in there. They become career politicians. They get all the kickbacks and everything. They're all in there for themselves. The people not government, they don't work for us. That's what they supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be working for us. They work for themselves. And every once in a while, they'll throw us a little bone or something to keep us happy. They'll throw us a stimulus check or something like that to keep us happy. But in the most part, they in there for themselves. And that's why I don't trust them. I brought that up because it's a perfect example, but I don't get into politics. I don't believe getting the right president in. I don't care if Trump get in there or Kamala get in there. I don't care who get in there. If we don't get somebody in there that's going to lead the people back to God, then it ain't going to make a difference. It's going to be the same stuff, different toilet. So to speak. But that's what we do. Nobody wants to take accountability. The Democrats don't want to take accountability for the part they've done and ruin this country, and the Republicans don't want to take accountability for the part they've done and ruin this country. Everybody's pointing fingers at each other, and that's what we have. We have a mess right now. You know what I'm saying? And the last example, you know what I'm saying? Again, I got so many examples, though. So I just want to rush through these, but I want to at least mention these. You know what I'm saying? Something else I see all the time. I see people that live their life on social media. And again, this might be some of y'all live their life on social media. Every little thing happen, every food they eat, every place they go, everything they do, every relationship they in, they got to blast it on. They got to post about it. They got to take a picture about it. They got to post about it. And they put all their business out on social media and then blame social media for ruining their lives. Blame social media because people start, you know what I'm saying, getting, too involved in their lives or thinking they know them or trying them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They get famous from this stuff and then all of a sudden it ruins their life. It ain't what they thought it was going to be. They live their whole life putting it out there, and you know what I'm saying, on social media for people to comment on and people to pick apart. And then when they get a little crucial, they want to get upset and be, oh, woe is me. Take accountability. You don't want to put it on there. Y'all see my page. I don't put nothing on there except my videos. Now, when my anniversary come up, I might put a little sweet little post of, you know what I'm saying, praising my wife. That's only because I'm trying to get some nookie later, and I'm just trying to butter her up. You know what I'm saying? I might say something about my kids on birthday. I'm trying to show them that, hey, I'm happy. But I don't really tell y'all, like, you know what I'm saying? I went to Alabama a few weeks ago. Nobody knows unless you watch this video, and I talked about it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as me just posting on it, the only way you're going to know something about me. Now, you watch my videos, you can get plenty on me because I always use myself as an example, you know what I'm saying, the things that's going on in the world or the lesson. So if you watch my videos, then yeah, you'll know a lot about me. But this ain't posting on social media for life. This is more of telling y'all my experience to help y'all with y'all experiences. So it's a difference, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't going to be able to go on my page and see how John is living. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna go on my page and see, oh, he was here, there. Matter of fact, I even tell my kids, if we're gonna go somewhere, if I'm gonna be out of town, we're gonna go somewhere, do not post nothing about me being gone. I don't want nobody to know I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I know people that have been robbed because they was posting, oh man, about to turn down to Miami. Oh, and somebody see, oh, if he in Miami, then he definitely out of his house in Tennessee, we're gonna break in. You know what I'm saying? We just giving out the stuff that people need to hurt us. And then we blame people for hurting us. Instead of taking accountability for ourselves, maybe I shouldn't have posted it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that sing raps and then they end up going to jail, putting murders and talking about the crime they committed in their raps and then they end up getting arrested. Maybe I shouldn't have rapped about that. You see what I'm saying? Take accountability for yourself. And again, this is just a few of them. And I could have went on and on, but like I said, I have been trying to keep this to an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I got to get back to attending my baby. And that's why I was like, I wanted to mention these as examples. And I couldn't really get in deep as I wanted to because I already had my 6th page and I had my time up. But if you really see just in these few examples I've given you, and of course, there's so many more, and there's probably more y'all can think of, and you probably have thought of situations where you haven't taken accountability and things went wrong. You know what I'm saying? But you see, all of our problems can be traced back to a lack of faith in God and a lack of accountability. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. This is what you don't realize. You know, and y'all know I always, before I finish up, which I'm about to finish up, I always got to tie it back in to the lesson. You know, obedience and blessings and disobedience and curses. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is one of the worst curses because it's so easy to do. And this is the blessing that you miss out on. I always like to do a comparison. If you go over to First John chapter 1, you can go with me, or you can just listen and I'm gonna read it to you. I don't have it, like I said, I got this done last minute. I usually have it already out there, but I know I'm close to it. If you go to First John chapter 1, it tells you a major blessing that you, First John chapter 1, not John chapter 1, but First John chapter 1, verse 9, it tells you of a major blessing that you missed out on because you're not willing to take accountability. It says right here, he says, if we confess our sin, I'm going to read the King James Version. It says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar and his word is not in us. Now, of course, if you want to, the New Living Translation says, but if we confess our sins to him, he is faithful and just to forgive us and to cleanse us from every wrong. If we claim we have not sinned, we are calling God a liar and showing that his word has no place in our hearts. So either way it go, you know what I'm saying? Either way you go, you got to understand you can't get, dang it, Ashley, how you gonna beat me to the punch? I'm setting it up and you're going to beat me to the punch. But as Miss Ashley said, because she beat me to the punch, you actually can't get grace and forgiveness without accountability. That's basically what that verse is saying. Thanks, Ashley, ruining it for me. But no, I'm glad you got that though, because that's exactly where I was heading to. That's the blessing that you missed out on. Good job. That's one of mine there, y'all. So that made me feel good. I mean, I might have taught a little something. But that's exactly right. That's exactly what I was about to say. She hit the head on the nail. You can't even be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? You can't be forgiven. You can't get God's grace without accountability. And that's why it's such a horrible curse of disobedience, because it's such a horrible curse, because it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to blame somebody else for your problem. It's so easy to blame God for your problems. It's so easy to blame your parents and your upbringing for your problem. It's so easy to blame your neighborhood for your problem. It's something that's so easy to do, but it's so hard to pay for. Because like I said, you can't forgive of your sins. You won't even take accountability of it. That's crazy. And Ashley, God dang it, you beat me to the punch. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still saying it anyway, because that's where I was going. But that's exactly where I was going. She got it, like I said, she got it right. You can't get grace from God And you can't get forgiveness of your sins without accountability. You have to have accountability. And that's what disobedience does. It gives you, it creates a lack of accountability in your life. You blame everybody else. You blame, when I always ask people, you know what I'm saying, I always tell people when I'm sharing the gospel with people, and when I get to the second point, you know, of course it says, you know, you're seeing, you know, separation from God and hell or whatever. And I always tell them, I say, you know, everybody knows if you sin, you're supposed to die and go to hell. But what people don't know is God is not the one that sends us to hell. So if God don't send us to hell, who sends us to hell? And you know, just about majority, now every once in a while somebody get it, but a majority of people, the first thing they say, the devil. You see what I'm saying? The devil sends us to hell. And they confused, because first they get confused, like, well, God don't send us to hell? You know what I'm saying? When I say, God don't send us to hell, they taken back about like, well, God don't send us to hell. And I was asking, I do it on purpose. I'm like, so if God ain't send us to hell, because I know most people think God is the one that sent us to hell. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? I said, well, God don't send us to hell. So if God don't send us to hell, then who sends us to hell? The first thing they say, the devil. You know what I'm saying? The devil. Rarely. Now, like I said, a few people do it, but some people, they click and they be like, we do ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And most of the ones that say that, they the one that end up getting saved because they realize like, oh my goodness, I need to take accountability for my action. It's me, you know, it's because of my action. It's the thing that I've done that's the reason why I have to go to hell. You know, the decision that I made is the reason why I gotta go to hell. It's not God sending me to hell, punishing me and sending me to hell, or the devil tricking me to hell. It's me because I made decisions, and the decisions I made is what's going to land me to hell. You know what I'm saying? Most people won't take accountability. They blame God, they blame the devil, but they never blame themselves. And that's what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to stop blaming yourself. You have to start taking accountability for your actions. So if you want to avoid this curse, which again, I know I said last week that loss of grace is a bad one, but this actually ties into the loss of grace as Ashley so eloquently, you know what I'm saying, stated. You know what I'm saying? This ties into the loss of grace because you don't have accountability. So if you want to avoid this curse, you know what I'm saying, start taking some accountability for your actions. You know what I'm saying? Start taking accountability for your life. Stop blaming your baby daddy for leaving you. Blame yourself for letting him come into you in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Stop blaming your parents for how they raised you. You're grown. You know what I'm saying? Taking accountability for your actions. You know what I'm saying? You kids, stop blaming the teachers for your bad grades. Oh, how many times you heard well, the teacher just don't like me. You know you hard-headed. You won't sit down. Instead of paying attention, you're talking. You're playing with your friends. Your Facebook. I'm so happy they got a new principal at our school now. And I know the kids going to be pissed. So they got this new principal at the school. And he put in this rule to where when kids come into the classroom, they actually got little bags that they have to put their phones in. And if they open the phone, open the bag before they leave class, it's like some kind of alarm goes off. The kids were just telling me about the other day. So I know they're going to be pissed. So there ain't going to be no more playing on your phone while you're in school. You know what I'm saying? But the kids do that on bad grade. Man, that teacher just don't like me. No, you just hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Take accountability for your own actions. It's very important because, again, that's why I want to tie it in as I finish it up. 1 John chapter 9. Without accountability, you're not going to have grace and forgiveness. So if you want to avoid this curse, you want to avoid losing that grace, like we talked about last week, losing that grace, start taking some accountability for your life. Start taking accountability for your action, because the lack of accountability is another curse of disobedience. So that's it, y'all. That's it for tonight. I did go a few minutes over. Like I said, it was just so much here. And like I said, when I started off, I didn't have nothing. And then a couple of ideas came. And like I said, this is a rush. And then I like, man, when I was putting together, like, I can't get all this into the lesson. But I wanted to at least get some of them and have you thinking. And again, I'm pretty sure some things that y'all thought about as well. It's probably some things you've done. And I'm pretty sure I've said something tonight that one of you have done before. You know what I'm saying? Or got you thinking about something you've done before if I didn't mention it. But again, accountability, we've all done it. You know what I'm saying? We've all done it. I blamed God for the longest for the problems in my life. And that's when, you know what I'm saying, that was when he called me to preach, I was, man, you did this and you did this and I went through that and I went through that. And you know what he asked me? What have you done? You know what I'm saying? What have you done for me? What have you done with your life? What kind of decision? You know what I'm saying? Why are you selling drugs? Why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? You made those decisions to do those things. And when I finally started taking accountability, y'all know what happened. Y'all, the rest is history. That's why we're here talking. I'm talking to y'all now because 20 years ago, I decided to give my life to God and start taking accountability for my action. And since then, my life has been great. You know what I'm saying? And I pray that after hearing this lesson tonight, y'all will come under conviction about it. You will start really looking at your life, looking at the problems going on, and stop blaming the world. Stop playing the victim. You know what I'm saying? Stop blaming your past, stop blaming your parents, and start blaming yourself, and start taking accountability for your actions, and start making better decisions and having better actions. And if you do that, you'll avoid this curse. Because again, a lack of accountability is another curse of disobedience. So that being said, done for the night, y'all. I kept y'all over a couple of minutes. I know I started a little late too, so it was a little later. But as always, going to my ending announcement. If there's anything in particular you would like me to talk about, or having in a certain story or something that I haven't discussed, in a topic I haven't discussed yet, I never get any suggestions. I guess y'all just love the way I do it. I guess y'all just love the way I do it. That's why I do it the way I do it. I never get any suggestions, so I'm hoping it's because y'all are being helped, and you're like, man, just whatever you bring it. But either way it goes, if you do got something to just, in your heart, you're like, man, I really would like to hear about this, inbox me and let me know. But if not, Lord willing, next Monday be back. I'm going to go to the next part. I got another one coming up, another point. We still ain't out of the hedges just yet. We still got a few more curses that we got to discuss before we move on to chapter 16 and we start a different topic. But again, I'm glad y'all are hanging in there with me, and I'm hoping these are helping y'all. But if you do want to hear about something else, just let me know. Keep sharing the videos, telling people about the videos. I always keep it public, and I appreciate it. The views have been going up. I don't know why. I don't know if it's somehow I got in the logarithm or whatever. But like I said, I'm just doing me. Whether the views go up or not, I'm still going to be here. It can go back down to what it used to be 15 and 20 when I first started, and I'm still going to be here doing the same thing because, like I said, I know I'm one God going to hold accountable. But I do appreciate y'all sharing the videos, tagging people in the videos, and telling people about the videos. And I'm hoping the reason why it's going is because it's helping people, and that's why it's going, because it's actually getting out there and doing what God has for it to do, and it's really helping people. So keep sharing the videos and doing that. We can grow this thing, y'all. And of course, as always, if you're not 100% sure about your salvation, reach out to me and let me know. I can work some time into my schedule to share the gospel with you. Most important decision that you ever make in your life. You know what I'm saying? Start taking some accountability for your life. Start taking some accountability for your eternal life. That you got to understand. Start taking some accountability for your eternal destination. Stop letting your church do it, or put it on your mama or your dad or your parents or your church and all that. You better take accountability for your own eternal outcome, and reach out to me if you don't know for sure if you die, you're gonna go to heaven or not. And also, last but not least, if you need any kind of spiritual counseling, got any questions, need some prayer or something like that, reach out to me and let me know. Once again, schedule some time in my schedule, or put some time in my schedule to go over these things with you and try to help you get to where you need to be with that. And as always, I know everything lesson I do turn into a whole series. I didn't intend it for it to be like this way, y'all. I promise. It just worked out that way. So if you're watching this, it's your first time watching it, and you want to go back and hear the other ones, you're like, man, that was some good stuff. What else has he been talking about? This is the easiest way to do it. You can also do it on my Facebook page. I never delete them. I always put them on there so they never delete, but you never know with Facebook. Maybe I can wonk it sometime. The easiest way to find, if you're watching a series, you want to go find the other sermons that go in the series, the easiest way is go to my YouTube page, youtube.com, God's Servant / Lost Sheep Ministries. Type it in just like that. So you'll be able to find it, because I don't have a big following on YouTube. I got like maybe 60 or 70 subscribers or something like that. So if you type it in like that, it'll take you to the channel. Subscribe, like the videos and things like that. And that's why I always post on there. And I post them I do it tonight, and then I'll probably post them Sunday, Lord willing, if I have the time to do so. So again, with that being said, man, thank y'all for being here tonight. I pray this lesson helped you, helped y'all see how important it is to take accountability in your life. I hope it brought you on a conviction about some things. I hope I did step on some toes, because if I step on some toes, I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not a Joel Osteen. I ain't gonna talk about sin. I'm gonna bring it right to your front, right to the front of your cerebral cortex, and help you think about it for a little bit. So I'm hoping this lesson is helping y'all. I'm hoping it's helping you grow more than anything, and I'm hoping it's helping you get close to the Lord. And if there's anything else I can do, always reach out to me and let me know, and I do what I can to help you out. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pray and get out of here. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for watching over us today. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to bring this wonderful lesson tonight, Lord, on accountability. This lack of accountability is why our society has crumbled, Lord. And just like I said in the lesson, it goes all the way back to the very first sin. Adam didn't want to take accountability for touching the fruit, and Eve didn't want to take accountability for bringing the fruit to him. You know what I'm saying? The unfortunate, the serpent was the only one that stood on business, Lord. And because of that, it's been there's been the consistency on down through the world. There's been I can't think of the word, the cycle, on down through, even to today. Nobody's willing to take accountability for their actions, blaming everybody else, and expecting everybody else to come in with the solution to clean it up, when really we got to take accountability for ourselves and clean up our own messes, Lord. Yes, no, we got to get help from you to do so. Don't get me wrong. We can't do it on our own, but we got to start making better decisions and making better actions that'll get us to where we need to be so we can be cleaned up in your eyes, Lord. So continue to watch over us as we go about this night. Keep us all safe. I pray that these words touch the hearts of those that hear it, that's willing to put this time in to watch the whole video so they can get the whole lesson, Lord. Be with those that couldn't be here tonight. I pray you keep your hand upon them, and be with all those that are sick and shut in. And of course, continue to keep your hand upon my wife, Lord, and help her to get back to 100%. And but also give me the strength and encouragement I need to continue to be able to help her and support her and be what she needs for her, just like she has for me. But also keep this work going as well, because I know how important that is, Lord. I just need your strength to get me through. And I pray that you be with all those that you give me the ability to be an influence in their lives. I pray that you give them your power, love, and wisdom, or any problem may arise that may keep them from doing your work. And I pray that they will have the desire to give their whole heart to you, just as I have, so they can also do the work that you have for them to do. I ask you to watch over this nation as a whole, watch over us all, Lord, and help us get back to being accountable for our actions. Help us realize that's the truth. Stop waiting on somebody else to do it, but we need to take control of ourselves. And I pray for the day when the world as a whole will humble ourselves, pray, seek your face, turn from our wicked ways, and hear, so we can hear from heaven, forgive. You will hear from heaven, forgive our sins, and heal our lands, Lord. Be with all those that are public servants, military, law enforcement, medical service, rescue service. Be with all those kind of people, Lord. Keep them safe and protected as they keep others safe and protected, and just continue to be a wall of protection around them so they may always make it home safely in the same condition they went out to serve in. And I pray you give them the wisdom to make the right decisions when it comes to life and death situations. Be with this ministry, continue to help it grow, prosper, reach out to community, change the lives of others, and capture lost souls of men. And be with all those churches that truly stand on your word, Lord. All those churches that truly stand on your word, not the watered down version, the sugar coated version. Be with them so they can continue to grow, prosper, reach out to community, change the lives of others, and capture lost souls of men. And be with the men that lead those churches, the women that lead those churches, getting the wisdom to make the right decisions to help the people have a close relationship with you. Be with this ministry as well. Continue to help it grow, and just continue to use it to do our part to honor and glorify your name, actually be your kingdom, and turn the hearts of this world back to you. Thank you for this lesson tonight. Thank you for putting this word on my heart and giving me the encouragement I needed to continue to go forth, bringing this word forward, even though we're going through what we're going through right now. But I know it's how important this is, and I know even with what we're going through, you still got our back, so I'm going to still do my thing to honor and glorify you. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this night. Thank you for this lesson, and thank you for all those that was willing to give their time to build a relationship with you tonight. We love you so much, and pray this lesson and these words will touch the hearts of those that hear it, and it will not return in vain, and do the work that we need to do to come closer to you. Love you so much. Thank you for all you've done and given. Say this prayer in your wonderful son, Jesus' name. Amen. So thank y'all for being here tonight. Once again, thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I know it's a little late, so I apologize about that, but I hope this was helpful. And for all my lost sheep people that's watching, the one that come to the live meeting, I'm going to attempt to have the meeting tomorrow. If anything changed, I will let you know. But for right now, my baby girl stepping in, so I should be able to still have the meeting tomorrow. We were so uncertain last week, that's why we couldn't do it. But Lord willing, tomorrow night, let me know if I need to come by and pick you up. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. And if everybody else that watch me on here, Lord willing, next Monday, 7 o'clock, hopefully we'll be able to stay back at our normal time. I'll be back bringing another lesson. But until then, please keep praying for me and my family. Y'all keep my wife in prayers. Rhea Stewart is her name. Keep her in your prayers so she can get back to 100%, so I don't have to put her down. Because, man, I mean, I don't want to have to train another one. I'm just playing. But keep us in your prayers. I'll continue to pray for y'all as always. And remember, I love you all. I always watch your back and pray. And until next time, I love you all. Peace.